Well, we can officially wish everyone a happy new year because it's a 4:15 in the morning.
And we're still going strong.
Yeah. I don't know entirely how to read the fact that my movie was scheduled for 4:15 in the morning. Everybody will be asleep by then. Let Ben do it then.
Really drunk.
Yes,
It's worth the wait. It's worth
That's
the wait.
right.
That's why.
That's right.
So what's happened tonight is that each of us have presented a film. Dave, you went first with?
I did not.
Well, I've had a tremendous amount of champagne. Alicia, you went first with?
The Apartment.
Then Dave,
Bundle of Joy.
Eddie,
Repeat performance.
Jacqueline.
Trading places.
Now we have Sunset Boulevard from 1950. We started with a Billy Wilder film from 1960. Sunset Boulevard never fails to deliver a whole cascading series of feels, you know,
Nice way to put it.
throughout it. And Eddie, I imagine that you've always identified in many ways with Sunset
I
Boulevard.
would say it like The Apartment. It's a perfect film.
Absolutely.
I have it on my top 10 list all time.
Yeah.
I love William Holden in this movie.
yes.
He's
best.
fantastic. And when there was a restoration done a few years ago of the film, and I got to show it on the big screen, my regard for his performance just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
The performance he gives in relation to Gloria Swanson, his reactions just watching her are absolutely brilliant.
But it never feels like they're in two different movies, right? I mean, it's just the two of them together. It's this electric relationship with all these different motivations on either side, but yet you're just dying to know what's going to happen, even if you've seen it before.
Even if it starts with him dead, you still want to know how he ends up in the pool.
Yeah.
His cynicism with her wildly over the top performance. I mean, I just think it balances it out in those moments when, you know, because you look at a scene from Sunset Boulevard, if it's taken out of context and you just see Gloria Swanson behaving like a classic silent movie star, desperate to recapture that fame, it could feel almost comical, right? It's so over the top. But Holden's in those scenes. And he is always sort of grounding the movie.
Well, also Gloria Swanson delivers so much vulnerability with her character and empathy. And you're right, she could be a very comedic character, this silent film star who has this wild idea that she's going to have a comeback, that she's going to write her own script and that DeMille will shoot it for her, not knowing how far she's fallen down in everyone's favor. Like she says in the film, you know, it's not that she's trying to be younger. Like she should be proud of how
You said
her
at one point in the
age
scene, she says, there's nothing wrong with being 50 years
Exactly.
old. Right, yeah.
Exactly. But you see her desperate to try to reclaim her youth, obviously, because Hollywood was so ageist. And even just watching the film and hearing how people had forgotten about silent film stars by this time,
Right.
it makes me feel like how I feel about people forgetting stars from the 40s and 50s. Like,
Sure.
they had faces then, you know, and they
Right,
had
yeah.
great dialogue too. It was-
Yeah, there's a Cecil B. DeMille plays himself here. There's a scene where they go to, he's making a movie, and so many people there don't quite know who Norma Desmond is, even though she would have been a great star 20 years earlier.
Yeah,
right.
not
It
that
wasn't.
far.
It wasn't.
20 years ago was a longer ago time back in 1950.
But that is the genius of Billy Wilder, is he understands how to do caricature. And then once you've settled on that caricature, he then makes them human beings.
Agreed.
And it's like, wow. Because like 3/4 of the way through this movie, your heart kind of goes out to her.
Yeah, I even think it's more complicated than that because for me it goes up and down where I feel these moments of sympathy for and then rage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Holden's got this humanity that even with his cynicism where he feels for her, right?
Can't do that to
And then and it comes, and then I get angry at her again, and then I'm sympathetic, and it ebbs and flows.
Yeah, and
which-
she's also a star that's never been told no.
That's right,
She's
never.
surrounded by yes people, but has
Yeah.
no friends.
And I like that this is your New Year's Eve choice
Oh,
because you get two New Year's Eve parties for the
true.
price
Very
of one. And
different.
this movie
That's true.
very different. One that's very
Yes.
small and one that's a little bit more lively.
Yeah, right. One that seems like a fun New Year's Eve party, and one which feels like incredibly disturbing.
Both of them taking a look at what it means to work in Hollywood at different moments. You
Yes.
have the young people coming up who have all this hope about being artists and being able to express themselves in cinema. And then I don't think he ever really disrespects the silent era, right? Like all the extravagances, there's a legacy there that it seems like Wilder is saying. It hurts to be forgotten. It hurts for those artists to be forgotten, and it hurts for that kind of movie making and that kind of industry to be forgotten.
Yeah, you'll see, and we'll show the movie now, but there's one moment in it where DeMille sort of speaks for every TCM fan when somebody's being dismissive
Yeah.
of Norma. And he's like, you don't get it, man. You don't get it, and you're missing it. And don't speak ill of this
Exactly
woman
it.
at
Yeah.
all.
Exactly.
And it's a nice moment. Here it is from 1950, directed by Billy Wilder. He co-wrote it with Charles Brackett, William Holden, Gloria Swanson, Nancy Olson, who we haven't mentioned, and also Eric von Stroheim plays such a critical role as Gloria Swanson's butler. Sunset Boulevard.